Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, remember I told you I was not going to be here today, so I'm recording our lesson for 4.1 continued or part 2. Again, this is just a continuation of what we were talking about yesterday. So please follow along with your notes and fill in the information as I've written, and then also I'll have a worksheet for you to work on, and you'll turn that in on Google Slides. All right, so let's talk about, it says, what property do you notice? What circle property do you notice? All right, so first of all, you should see ice cream cone. And remember, when we see that, we want to set equal, because remember the sides of the ice cream cone are congruent or equal. All right, so basically, it says find the perimeter of each polygon. All right, so you want to look and see if you see an ice cream cone. Now, if you notice, we do have some ice cream cones. I'm just going to point them out, but I'm going to erase them. So you got one ice cream cone here, if you look at it from that angle. Another one we have, where's that one, is here on this side. So again, another ice cream cone. So we basically have 3 ice cream cones, and I've just been circling them. You don't have to circle them. But again, those are our 3 ice cream cones. So remember that we're going to use that information to solve these problems. All right. So let's start off with the first side. All right. So this ice cream cone here, and I'm just going to circle it right here, we're going to notice that, first of all, hold on a second. Actually, you know what would be better to do? Sorry, we're going to do this ice cream cone. I apologize. We'll do this one first. All right, so remember, if this side is 11.6, then this portion right here, I'm circling it, but you don't have to do that. You just have to write on your own paper. I need you to write 11.6. Now, this whole side right here is 23.6, but this part right here of the ice cream cone is 11.6. All right, so what we want to do is, I'm going to write off to the side. We're going to say 23.6 minus 11.6. So if we do that, we should wind up with 12. So that means this other side right here is 12. And remember, again, this is another ice cream cone right there. So I'm just circling it so you guys can follow along with me. So if this is 12, this also has to be 12. All right? And so now, the last part we got to fill in is this part right here. So that's 5.6. This also must be 5.6. All right? So now that we filled out the parts, it's find the perimeter of each polygon. Now, we already have the measurement for this side, which is this. So now what we need to do is add these two together, and that should give us 17.2, because 11.6 plus and 5.6 is 11.2. 17.2. And on this side, when we combine them, we should get 17.6. All right? So again, these are our 3 measurements, 17.6, 17.2, and 23.6. So now we're going to add all these together and get perimeter equals 17.2 plus 23.6 plus 17.6. So if we add all that together, we should wind up with a perimeter of 58.4. All right. So again, we're going to be using the information there to find the perimeter of a figure. Okay. So now let's go on to the number 2. All right. So again, we're going to start with this side right here. Okay. Again, more ice cream cones. So if this is 4.3, then this also must be 4.3, because again, it's an ice cream cone. All right. So then we got that part marked off. All right. So again, another ice cream cone here, circle it here. That's going to be 8.7. All right. Let me try to see if I can write that a little clearer. I apologize. A little bit clearer. Erase that part. So I'm going to put it over here, 8.7. All right. So if we know that's 8.7 and we know that's 16.6, we're going to say this has 16.6. To get the other side, we're going to say 16.6 minus 8.7. I forgot to tell you this was plus. Minus. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said plus there. I was doing well, and like I tell you guys always, Harper can make mistakes like you guys. All right, so that's minus. So here, when we do that, we should wind up with 7.9. So that means that this part right here on the other side should be 7.9. So again, write that on your paper. All right, so we have another ice cream cone right here. So this is going to be 7.9 as well. So we're almost done. All right, so if we know that's 7.9, we're going to say 19.9 minus 7.9. All right, and we should wind up with, again, 12.0, or just 12. So that means this section right here is 12. Well, again, this is another ice cream cone, so this also has to be 12. All right, so now, remember, we already got 19.9 and 16.6. So now we need to add these two together and get 16.3. So again, please be writing this on your paper. And then this right here is going to be 13. All right, so now for our perimeter for the second one, it's going to be 13 plus 16.6 plus 19.9 plus 16.3. So if we add all that together, we should wind up with 65.8. All right. So that's using the ice cream cone observation that we talked about yesterday in the original 4.1. So the next one says, what circle property do you notice? This time we're going to talk about radius and tangents. Sorry. All right, so we say radius and tangents. All right, so we're going to start off with this circle here. This side right here is 24 units. This side right here is x. And this side right here is 42. All right, so remembering that when I talked about radiuses, this side right here is a radius. This side right here is also a radius. And remember, all radii in a circle are congruent. So we're going to put 24 here because, again, every radius is the same measurement. All right, so now when we combine these two, remember I talked about this is a common mistake people make. They just think 42, but since 42 is not, we don't see a bar or arrow saying that whole side is 42, we have to use the radius and add it to that part. So that's going to be 66. Okay, so now we're going to set up just like we did yesterday. We're going to say x squared plus 24 squared, because that's our Pythagorean theorem, equals 66 squared. All right. When we get that, we get x squared plus 576 equals 4,356. We're going to subtract 576, sorry. And we're going to wind up with x squared equals 3780. So just like yesterday, we're going to find the square root. All right. And we're going to get x equals 61.5. Now remember, this is going to be positive because this was a regular x. It was not x squared. We don't have to put plus or minus. But if it was x squared, then the correct answer would be plus or minus. All right. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is what's the trick? You know, I know we don't normally talk about tricks. We should say technique. What's the technique? But this is the way Mr. Littleton described it. All right. So here she said use the whole diameter. And that refers to this part right here. This is 34. This is x. And this whole side right here is 117. So again, I want you to draw that line that I told you to draw. I'm sorry, it's a little crooked. I'm drawing on my iPad. So I'm a little straighter in class. All right. So when it says use the whole diameter, she's referring to this part right here. So this is 34. This also must be 34. All right. So now we know 34 plus 34 is 68. So that's our whole diameter. So again, we're going to go back to x squared plus 68 squared equals 117 squared. Okay. And so just like in class, I'll do it the way I did the way she did it, but we're going to do it the way in class. So we're going to subtract 68 squared from both sides. All right. And we're going to get x squared equals 13,689. Then we're going to find the square root of both sides and get x equals, I'm sorry, I apologize. I got the wrong thing. I'm just looking ahead. I'm looking at the old thing, sorry. So apologize for that. So erase this part. I know you were probably writing pencil or pen, but I told you guys always write in pencil. because you can't always erase. So it should be 9,065. All right, so we find the square root of 9,065. We should wind up with 95.2, I believe. You got cut off, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys. But it should be 95.2, roughly. Okay, so now we have solved two problems using the techniques we talked about previously. So as I said, I'm gonna I've uploaded a Google slide presentation. In each of the boxes, I need you to work them out, on a sheet of paper, and then write in the answers. This is a daily grade. It will be worth 2 daily grades, and you need to complete it. Once you get done with that, you're allowed to work on your projects. And like I said, when I return the next day, we'll continue on with 4.2. Thanks for your attention, and I'll talk to you in the next one.